Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Mistonia's Hope. About to start Ascot's route today. Are you excited? I'm excited. Okay, so look, I almost forgot that we made the save here, where we have the different choices. I don't remember what chapter this is. We have obviously our save file too, where you can go right before the debutante ball. We're not doing that because we have these scenes that are like hidden, where you pick the different place. You guys know better than I do. It's been like a week since I played this game. Okay. Uh, but I'm trying to think. We only have Ascot and John left, and I'm pretty sure Ascot's the entrance hall because I think the long gallery. We've already done the library. That was Lucas. Drawing room and parlor, one of them was Alfred and the other one was Edward, and I can't remember which. The garden was Linus, so I think the long gallery, when I checked them quickly just to see who shows up, I think the long gallery is John. So I think the entrance hall was Ascot. So that's what we're going to try, and if it's not, we'll just load the save and start over again. And then we'll just skip through everything from here on out. So let's see. No matter where I ultimately needed to go, I decided to head to the mansion's center first. The moment I got to the entrance hall, a sweet voice echoed from upstairs. Looking for someone? I didn't need to turn around to know who was talking. Yeah, okay. I was like, I know I started, like, I opened it to see who was who, so when we did Edwards, we could go right here. So, yeah, okay. He wore a sweet smile when he got to the first floor, yet I couldn't forget that he was the one who brought up the topic at dinner, because unfortunately the guide is just open the flowchart, go to 3-3 etiquette lessons, start from there, or do your common route. So it doesn't tell you. It's not like, hey, as if you started anew. It's like, go here and do this, because you couldn't do Ascot's before you did 2 out of the 3 of the other routes. So anyway. Oh, I'm very excited about this. So excited we're here with Ascot finally. The vanished ducal house. I needed to figure out what was going on behind that smile and why he'd chosen that subject. I'm searching for our guests to offer them some tea. Would you like any, Lord Ascot? Ascot considered it for a moment. Then he leaned closer. His gaze was sensuous and captivating. It doesn't even have to be for me to find it sensuous and captivating. I'm just saying. Oh, he just got right all up in our face. In that case, I'd like to have my tea delivered to your room. I want to enjoy it with you alone. Sir, promises I can't. She's going to push you away, but I'm going to pull you closer. If you would like tea, I believe the drawing room to be the more appropriate choice, or the dining room, perhaps. Which of those would you prefer? I kept the conversation going, pretending to not notice the obvious invitation so I could learn more about him. I mean, you could learn more about him if you took him to your room. Not really sure he'd behave, so maybe not a great idea, but also not a terrible one. Even so, he handled my strategy adeptly. How cold. There's something in you is interested in me, isn't it? Yes. I can feel the passion in your gaze. I mean, he's breaking the fourth wall here. This man's gonna make me stupid. There's something you want to ask me. Something you want to know. It's written all over your pretty face. Ascot, realizing the confidence in his voice had me taken aback, curled his lips amused. Oh, did I hit the mark? I couldn't be happier if you wanted to get to know me. Letting him see me flustered like this is careless of me, but if I want to learn more about him, I may need to take this a step further. For a moment, John's worried face flashed in my mind. I was well aware of the danger, but I'd get nowhere if I kept making excuses. Dispelling my concerns, I put on my most attractive smile and challenged Ascot. You're right. I really am interested in you, Lord Ascot. You seem very knowledgeable, so I'm hoping to discuss many things with you. Are you? Maybe we should go to your room after all. Wouldn't you prefer to have some time to ourselves as well? He tried to put his arm around my shoulders, but I dodged him. I appreciate the offer, but I need to serve our guests at the moment. I'll refrain from having tea alone with you for now. For now. I shall prepare some tea for you, Lord Ascot, so please wait in the drawing room. I tried to suggest that I wanted to talk to him as well, but my timing was poor. So you're still rejecting me, huh? That's a shame. Ascot sounded disappointed, but his lips curled into a smile. He seemed to be having fun. Oh well, I'll go to the drawing room as you wish. Let's save our chat for another time. I watched him leave. I needed to improve my persuasion skills before the next opportunity arose to speak to him. And then this is where we can start skipping and shit, so. And we might have to go through and do more thingies. Yes, we do. Okay. Doot. And we skip these as well. Skip to Maloo. I'm assuming we're in chapter 2 because we haven't gotten to the doing the hunt thing. Not the shard hunt, but the etiquette lessons where we tell Nicholas we learned from a textbook or whatever. So, it's fine. I mean, we're used to having to skip in the beginning, so. How are you? Are you doing well? It's been a while. Literally for you, it's been like no time at all, but it has been like, again, like I said, a week since I was playing this game, because like my mom came here this weekend, so like this past weekend. So like I finished Edward's route and then I was like, okay, I'm not going to start this and only have like a part recorded. I was like, nah, I'll wait. But then our other game, I only had a few more hours left to finish it. So I'm like, I might as well finish that before I start this. So now it's like, I think I finished Edward's route early in the week and it's like a Thursday now. So, oh, interesting. Okay. While everyone was out doing other tasks, I found myself alone in the servant's office ironing clothes. I sorted through everything I'd seen, heard, and learned up to today as I worked. I must have been too caught up in my thoughts because I accidentally touched the tip of the iron with my finger. It happened so fast, and it kind of hurts. Just as I thought of cooling the burn with water. Oh, how clumsy. You know it's going to be Ascot. I grabbed the source of the voice with both hands and looked around, forgetting about the pain entirely. The door remained closed. It was just, oh no, it's Oberon popping out? Okay, I really expected it to be Ascot because it stopped and we're in the middle of his route. You know what I mean? Anyway, it was just me and the little bird in my hand. I unknowingly let out a sigh of relief. Hey, let me go already. What are you doing to this adorable little bird? What am I doing to the adorable little bird? The adorable little bird is napping on my chest. Like, not in the middle of my throat, but off to the side, not quite on my shoulder. But he's jammed over there. In a perfect spot for him to be jammed because I can still feel his dagger toes, but they're not as painful as normal because he's on my sweater. And we won't focus on it because if I think about his dagger toes, it's like, no, they are sharp and they hurt. And he's not sitting there where my chin is rubbing against him. It's just a nice little weight on my shoulder. But he's going to know that I'm talking about him. Anyway, shh, I'm not talking about you. Shh. It's like, whatever, I'm napping while you play games. Do you even know where you are right now? This isn't my room. What if someone comes in? When I released the bird, he flapped his wings and flew around me. I wouldn't make such a silly mistake. They appeared exactly because no one's here. And luckily their presence is far off. Anyway, what did you say just now? I called you clumsy. He pointed at my finger with his beak, suggesting he was referring to my burn. It was then that the pain in my finger returned. My mind was elsewhere, so I didn't notice. Have you been watching me? You got burned when I was about to come out and tease you. What a coincidence. Is he telling the truth? Suspicion's written all over your face. It's a mystery how you've made it this far when you're so easy to read. Even though I was annoyed, I couldn't help but notice that I was unusually relaxed around him compared to others. Only a few months had passed since we'd met. I was frustrated. Oberon then gently placed his beak on my finger. Be grateful that I'm so nice. What's that? A warm, soft glow emanated from the robin as he enveloped my fingertip in a soothing light. The glow faded a few moments later. I looked at my hand. No red mark, no pain. Why can't you do that? When you touch your beak to my finger, you just bite and hurt me. And this little birdie poops his beak and not hurts. Yeah, no, you're mean. You hurt. Yeah, you, talking to you. Why you know magic? You know why you are magical. You can't heal fingertip wounds. You make fingertip wounds by biting, but you know when I'm stressed out and angry and you're like, hey lady, hey lady, hey lady. Or if I'm frustrated and sad, you're like, I kiss away your tears, mommy. I know. You're such a good boy. He really is. I know you're the light of my life. You and your sister. The car. She needs to go to the car hospital, though. You better not need to go to the birdie doctor aside from getting your toenails trimmed. Oh. Did you heal me? That John guy wouldn't stop scolding me if something happened to you. Ugh, don't tell him about this. But thank you for healing me. I'll refocus. I won't let my guard down. Yeah, alright. You better try to read hard for that. Oh, you better try real hard for that dream of yours. Also, actually, forget it. See you later. Oberon then flew into my pocket watch and disappeared. What's he trying to say? I'll ask him the next time he comes out. He said he wanted to tease me, but he ended up healing my wound. Should I bake him cookies as a thank you? I wish I could borrow the kitchen. I decided I'd ask Charlotte next time I saw her. With that, I refocused. Charlotte's gonna die if you try to make cookies. Let's get back to work. I resumed my ironing, forgetting about my earlier frustration. So it's like every single time, like when we go to different places, there's always a different little scene for these. Which is kind of cool. Don't know if that, like, had any pertinence to anything, but maybe. You know? Oh. I was exhausted after finishing my work. I returned to my room and collapsed on the bed. Constant vigilance is so tiring. I turned my head slightly and noticed that the pocket watch had fallen from my pocket and was glinting in the light. Doesn't seem like there's a call. I felt a bit shameless, but I checked the dial, still lying down. John wasn't trying to contact me. I guess they don't have any interesting information either. I stared at the watch, pushing away my impatience. I remember arguing with John about how often we should contact one another with the pocket watch. Looking back now, it had been kind of silly. Make sure you contact me once an hour. You hear me, m'lady? Isn't that a bit much? It'll be difficult to do so when I'm working, too. Remember, m'lady, you're going to the mansion of the current head of one of the 5 houses. Everyone around you will be untrustworthy. I mean, Edmund, yes. The rest of it, I mean, kind of sort of a little bit, but also not really. I feel like Linus is the most untrustworthy out of all of them just because he would literally stab us to save the queen. But that's only because he's kind of forced to do that. And he kind of fought really hard against it. So, like, I'm not saying, like, he's bad. But I'm just saying, like, out of all of them, it'd be like, he's the most likely to stab me. Okay, Ascot also. Linus, most likely to stab you and probably feel guilty because he's forced to do it. Ascot stab you and be like, questionable if he'd care. Right now. We don't know his secrets, but right now that's what we know. Alfred absolutely wouldn't. No. He hates what he had to do. Lucas absolutely wouldn't do it. Edward's little fucking ball of sunshine, that one. So, you know. Lily's still also shady as fuck. So, like, and Nicholas shady as fuck. Okay, so, like, half the house is shady. Because, you know, our friends are not shady at all. They're good. We like them. So, anyway. I've said this many times before, but I really don't want you going there alone. I know you're worried. I have anxieties of my own, too. But I thought we had moved past this already. Moved past you going to House Bernstein? Yes. But we never discussed how often we'd be in contact. True, but think about it, John. Calling you once an hour could raise suspicion. I'll make sure to contact you once a day, and if I have time, I'll do so in the morning and afternoon as well. And if something happens, I'll even contact you immediately, of course. If necessary, I'll leave you a message. The Fey King's quite temperamental. He may not be able to help you when you really need him. You get overly optimistic sometimes, milady. I could back you up if I were at your side, but this time... Ow! Am I that unreliable? Oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. You don't trust me, do you? I do. I do trust you. These are two different matters, though. It's the same thing. Do you think I'm some child who only knows how to kneel and cry? I thought you've always been there for me. It's very interesting we're having this argument with John, not in his route, but it's just, like, precursor. I don't see you as a child, but that's also exactly why I said what I did. If you're forced to make a choice for your goal, you tend to rush in without thinking. He's not wrong. I won't be reckless. Maybe not. See, you won't even look me in the eye. That alone's already dangerous. In any case, you need to contact me right away if something happens. Once an hour is still way too often. Make it once every half a day. No, at least once every 2 hours then. You're like, I will contact you when I damn well feel like it. He's like, once every 2 hours. You're like, how about every other day? And he's like, you're going the wrong way. And you're like, yeah, well, trying to lead you closer to where I want you to be. You two look more like a mother and child than siblings. Goneril? I'm sorry, Goneril? Because we both said it, so. When did you get here? I've been here for a while now, you know. I suppose you didn't notice because you were so caught up in your little disagreement. Do you think I'm a child, too? No. I should have phrased that better. What I mean is that John Boy here is acting like an overprotective mother. No, I'm not. If something happens to her, it'll be too late. Of course I'm worried. So you're saying you'll keep an eye on everything from start to finish? That's not... Your concern is valid, but her feelings are too. If you go overboard with this, these worries can cloud your judgment and hinder your actions. And you, Missy, you should try to understand his feelings a little better too. He might be able to stay by your side for now, but once you start working in that mansion, you'll only be able to talk openly in this shop, not in public. I know you have your goals, so I'm not going to stop you. But that is exactly why you should cherish the person who supports you. This is like Goneril being like, marry John. We ain't there yet, girl! Let me date the flighty bastard who we have no idea what the fuck is going on with. Let me date the enigma first, okay? At any rate, this argument is just a sign of your anxiety. Figure out how to compromise, will you? Goodness, lecturing you like this is so out of character for me. I'm gonna go have a drink. See you later. Goneril. Thank you. Thanks. I've cooled down a bit. No problem, dear. I'll have John Boy repay the favor with labor. In the end, we settled on contacting each other in the morning and at night. John was still worried, but he eventually calmed down after Goneril spoke to him, and I made sure to update him on the situation during my breaks. I decided to send a message to John. I was going to say, like, it's worried. She's like, oh, God. We argued over, like, how much we should contact each other, and it's like, it makes it sound like you don't want to contact, like, you were going to contact him more often, and he's like, God, don't harass me. So he'd be perfectly fine if you contacted him and you're like, hey, got nothing to say. Just want to let you know it's going to go take a piss. You know what I mean? Like, this man doesn't just text him. Hey, I was in the middle of dusting. Just figured I'd say, sup, bro. You know what I mean? Like, eventually he'll get sick of it. I'm fine. Don't overwork yourself. And send. I should get back to work. You know what? I feel like trying to send a message in the pocket watch is like texting in the old days when you didn't have normal, like you just had to say A, B, C. Okay, wait. A, okay. R, S, T, okay. Space. And then you're like 3 hours later, you're like, cats are cool. And you didn't even type A-R-E. You're just like the letter R. You had to like abbreviate fucking everything because you couldn't type sentences. It would take 3 hours. So that sentence, you would have been over there. Okay. And then you hit this button. And then, Jesus. God, I'm fucking old. That is why when I got my first cell phone and it was like when you could do texting and everything like that and it wasn't like, oh my. Okay, when I had my first cell phone, it was my parents paid for them and it was like, for emergencies, don't use them to call people. And they were ginormous bricks. Okay, you could probably kill someone with one of them. Okay, they should be dangerous weapons. All right, they probably still work, to be fair. My mom probably still has them somewhere. But like when it was like, okay, then you get your own cell phone and like texting wasn't okay. It was not cheaper. It was still 10 cents a fucking text. Can you imagine the fucking days we paid per text? Holy motherfucking shit. Ridiculous. But that's why I got one of those like flippy, like not like a flip phone, but like the ones that like you flipped on the side and you slid up and then it had the QWERTY keyboard so I could like, because I was like, there is no way I'm trying to text like an asshole like that. I was like, no, you know, I was a little late to the texting party, but I was the smart one because I was like, I'm not going to sit there, A, B, C, and then you have to wait till it stops. Yeah, okay. And then A to spell out cat and it took you 3 hours. I was like, nope, I got itty bitty little keyboard. I don't know how the fuck we texted on those things. Because right now, with a normal fucking smartphone, you fat finger shit, and those buttons were like microscopic. So, what the fuck? Oh, man. And again, 10 cents per text that you sent and received. So if your friend was that asshole, like I have a friend like this, like, hey, what's up? Question for you. So, I was sitting there yesterday. Oh my God, I just saw a dog. And like, instead of asking a question, it's like 52 texts. You'd be like, oh my God. And I think I have anxiety over that because I'm like, first of all, get to the point. Second of all, you know, this just cost me $5. It cost me nothing because that's not how we work anymore. But you just have that anxiety of like, the same way when you'd accidentally hit the internet button on your phone and you're like, no, because it was going to cost you like fucking $80. And you're like, and you were trying to back out of it because you didn't want the internet on the super old phones because that was really going to fucking cost you. And you didn't answer the phone if it wasn't a night or a weekend because that shit wasn't free. Until they started doing like the inner circle things. And then you could have 5 people in your inner circle and then they could call you anytime they wanted to. And that was, and it's like, you know, I complain about a lot of shit with modern technology, but like, the stress of the way texting and cell phones used to be, it's so much nicer now. I mean, that's because we pay $700 fucking dollars a month for our cell phones. And every time you need a new one, it's like, here, that's another kidney. But I already gave you 6 of them. I can't, like, they don't regrow. I keep murdering people and stealing kidneys in order to buy a cell phone. And like, yeah. All right, I'd mortgage my house, but I don't own it. I can't afford to own a house because, you know, that's why they don't do the new every year anymore. Well, every 2 years anymore. Man! Anyway, but I just can't imagine. This is all stemmed because how fucking annoying would it be to try to text on that motherfucking pocket watch? You know? It's like the old days of texting. I'm surprised she texted, I'm fine, don't overwork yourself. Instead of DNT over OVRK SLF. And then it's like, don't overwork myself. Got it. You just kind of had to figure shit out. Oh my God. I straightened my disheveled clothes and apron and adjusted my cap. The exhaustion I had felt when I'd gotten back to my room seemed to fade as I stepped into the attic hallway, determined. Boop. Now we're gonna meet John. Even though we just sent him a message like, I'm cool, yo. And he's like, still, can we meet up? Obviously, these are different timeline things. Let's check the shards I found. Let's check whichever one this one is. In the flower. See? Yeah, okay. And that's the scene that I'm thinking of because we see them together And then there's like the little bluebells, which is why I think in the little short stories he's the one in the bluebells. Which makes sense because I'm pretty sure we already saw that when we were flipping through and he was in one of Edward's. So we already know that. But with this, I've checked all the shards. Oh, there's Evelyn and Charlotte coming to hang out with us and be our besties. And this is lovely and I love it. I cannot wait to go to the dance with Ascot. Right, that's the book. Okay, so we're still going to have to skip through chapter 3, and then we've got one more shard exploration in this one, but that's okay. Okay, so that's an... Okay. I learned from a textbook, which we've already done before. Oh, Ascot. Oh, Ascot. Come back. There you are. No, he's gone. There he is. Nope, that's Edward. Nope, that's Linus. There he is. Oh my god. All right, let's see if there's any different ones in this shard exploration, right? Is that what? Because is it the first one when you're doing it? The first one's the only one you can skip? And it was like, why can you skip the first one and not any of the later ones? But that's because, as we've seen now, every single time we've gone into chapter 2, technically you can, because we would have skipped it by starting chapter 3, starting at that scene with, in the ballroom or whatever, saying that we learned from a textbook or etiquette stuff, whatever, and then we do this shard exploration. It's interesting because what I don't understand is like shards high. Okay, you choose that, you know, trust high, shards high, fey low. Interesting. Maybe I don't know. Interesting. But at any rate, shards, like you could do shards low. Like you can't physically miss any of the shards here. I mean, I guess you could, because you could just skip the shard exploration, but at the same time you can't. So like, it's really bizarre, But anyway, I guess that's why in the earlier ones where it was like you have to do it, you can skip the first one. Because we've seen every single time there's always a new little scene to see. Although I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see if there's a new scene here. Or if it was just in the second one. And I don't remember in the other, I guess it's only in the second part, in chapter 2. But I don't know if we've ever seen a different segment inside of chapter 3 if they've all been in chapter 2. Because I can't remember. They kind of all blur together. Enter the room. We're going to go through a shard exploration again, and then we're almost there. There's just so much clicking through the skipping right now. Alfred! There we go. Okay. With this, I've done all the shards. All right, here we go. Gee, what are we going to do? We're going to choose Ascot. This is going to be fun as shit. In that case, I'll try asking Lord Ascot. Goodness, I see. I'm sure it'll be fine. Lord Ascot will definitely pick out something lovely. Lily's reaction felt a little off. It was too late to change my mind, though, and I decided to look for Ascot. I mean, can you blame her? Because, like, we're like, yeah, I'll take Ascot. And she's like, the hell? I mean, okay. Listen, I know Lily's sus as fuck, but I can't really blame that reaction, to be fair. It's fucking Ascot. I'm flattered to have been chosen to accompany you on this outing. Lady Lily mentioned that you don't have gloves. Would you let me pick a pair for you? Yes, I'd be very grateful. Okay, so he got the gloves. I'm just saying, all of our boyfriends combined, and we have a gorgeous outfit. So we kind of need them all. So, man harem ending. I chose Ascot because he seemed to be the most knowledgeable when it came to women's shopping habits. Because he shops for a lot of women, or do you think he just likes to dress up and look pretty in his spare time? I bet he likes to dress up and look pretty in his spare time. That was the only reason I'd chosen him. For some reason, he gave me a heated look. Hiding your beautiful hands is such a waste, though. I know it's proper etiquette, but personally, I'd rather admire them like this. Ascot lifted my hand and pretended to kiss it, teasing me like usual. I was so used to his antics by now, I didn't even notice. I didn't even react, sorry. Always so superficial. Could this just be a mask to hide his true feelings? I was already on guard, so every word he said sounded suspicious. Fair. There was no way my heart could have been moved. Then Ascot looked as if he'd just been struck with an idea. Right. You don't seem to be easily swayed, but let me share something helpful with you. Here's a dagger that'll help you kill the queen. Excuse me? I mean, I know she's like, my heart can't be swayed. I don't know. The man gave us a dagger to help us kill the queen that time, so I know that that was in a different route in another universe, but she might not remember that, but we do. If I told you that there's a way to enter high society without attending a ball, would you be more interested in me? I'm not exactly vying to enter high society. She's like, plus, psh, I was already there to begin. I was there before you, bitch. I answered without hesitation. It was how I truly felt. Ascot dismissed my words with a chuckle anyway. You're lying. I know you want to get close to Her Majesty. Not wrong. I would never dare wish for such a thing. He actually guessed right, despite what I told him. He's going to be like, I've known the whole time who you were. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I couldn't bring myself to admit this, so I stayed silent. Meanwhile, Ascot continued the conversation, looking even more entertained. Becoming nobility isn't so hard. You just need to be Baroness Lindell. I had to know he was going to go there, and he's like, I know how you could become part of high society without going to a ball. It's like, are you going to propose to me? You're going to, because, I mean, that's the obvious choice. Not just because I want to, but you know what I mean. And not just because I expect him to offer that, but it's well, you don't even have to go to a ball. You just marry someone in high society? Yeah, it's kind of expected. Despite my curiosity, his response turned out to be nonsensical. After a moment, I finally realized that this was just another way for him to hit on me. But I heard you're just the representative, not the actual Baron. Oh, so you know. Even so, marrying me would still be quite advantageous. Quite advantageous. He said with a soft chuckle, clearly teasing. I suppose choosing him as my companion really was a mistake. I regretted my decision the whole time, all the way until we got back to the mansion. I mean... And then we go to the ball, and then here we go. Ascot shows up. It's quite the shame that a young lady like you is standing in the corner like a flower pressed to the wall. He looks so ridiculously fucking fine, though, in this suit. I mean, seriously. The hair up, the white cape, the fact that his, fucking suit jacket is, floral. It's beautiful. I lifted my face at the sound of the playful voice. Just as expected, it was Ascot. I'm not a noblewoman. You should know that, Lord Ascot. I wonder about that. You look more like a refined young lady than anyone else here to me. That's why I'm asking you to dance with me. May I have the pleasure, milady? I knew he was asking me to dance, but when I stared into his mesmerizing eyes, I got the sense he was challenging me to a duel instead. Oh, I'd duel him. And I don't even mean that in an innuendo way, although also that too, but very well. I couldn't help but feel as if I had to take him on. Mm-hmm. Both in all the ways you can imagine. I took his hand and walked to the center of the hall. Then I took my position just as we'd practiced. Is it just me, or do you look like you're going into battle? Sorry. He's not wrong. I just want to enjoy a dance with you. Like this. His whisper was like a soft tune as he gracefully led me to the waltz's rhythm. And then again, I was the one who taught you that dancing is a battle of wits. Is that why you look so serious? It's funny because the little braids on his cuffs look like little hearts. I know it's supposed to just be a braid, like a braided cord or whatever, but it just looks like little hearts. And I just like it too. It's so funny. I'd prefer not to comment. I tried looking away. Unfortunately, Ascot wouldn't let me. His gaze felt as if he could see right through me. He might be able to. I don't know. I mean, again, I love this bastard, but I'm not sure we can trust this bastard. Although at the same time, we could trust that bastard because he's the one who gave us the knife in Linus's route. So, you know, I mean, we just don't know what end is up with this motherfucker, and that's what's fun about it. I believe I taught you to maintain eye contact. Enjoying a little conversation as you dance is all right. There's something special about communicating with your eyes. With your eyes, too. Love, hatred, fear, sadness. And those emotions are all reflected in one's eyes. I see a dark, burning fire in your eyes. Could you enlighten me as to what emotion this is? The moment he whispered in my ear, a sudden surge of anger welled up within me. Is he testing me? I won't let him toy with me like this. I refuse to become his plaything. I can see an ominous flame reflected in your eyes, too. Are you not saying these things to distract me and conceal the darkness within yourself? Ascot narrowed his eyes. A faint, menacing smile appeared at the corners of his lips. Ooh. I love the fact that now menacing. Oh, he's been so flippant and flighty and now he's getting menacing. Ooh. This could just be ridiculously fun with a cat and mouse game. Even more interesting than I thought. I sensed a dreadful bloodlust as if a blade were pressed against my throat. Ooh. I'm so sorry. I'm a little tired, but also voices are hurting me now. Well, not hurting, but you know what I mean. They're just making me yawn more. Is this his true nature? It felt as if I were witnessing his darker side, and I instinctively tightened my grip on his hand. Yet Ascot's usual composed expression returned as if nothing had happened. No need to hold my hand so tightly. Your gloves will get wrinkled. Understood. We continued dancing, but I couldn't erase the look on Ascot's face I'd seen earlier. It was burned into my mind. And then we go to the thing, and we go, I just look at, okay. But, I just want to see their suits. Oh, no, we don't see the rest of them. I mean, okay, now we're straight up in Ascot's. I wanted to compare them again. I just wanted to see them all again. I feel like I thought, Edwards is, you just expect it to be so much more dramatic, and it's still nice, but it's he always dresses princely, so then when he's like, here's my ball outfit, and you're like, yeah, it just looks like your everyday one. You know what I mean? Where everybody else's were like, oh, hey, we're getting snazzy here. I mean, they all have fabulous outfits. Listen, people can hate on their outfits all they want. I love my goddamn lemon drop show pony, okay? Don't make fun of Alfred's lemon neon fucking coat. I love it. I fucking love it. It's ridiculous, and I'm here for it. Okay? Listen, it's got nothing on Amnesia outfits with all the buckles and the straps and the 2 different height boots and what the fuck are you doing? You know? These are well put together. They're just bright and colorful and a little fucking over the top. But that's what I'm here for. This is how I dress, like I belong in a circus. So, please. But it's just when then you're like, and then here's my sexy, ball suit. And you're like, yeah, that sounds inappropriate. You know what I mean? I can't call it a ball gown because they're not wearing gowns, but you know what I meant. My tuxedo for formal events. And then, Edwards just didn't look as formal as his everyday outfit. I don't know. I still think it was nice. It was just one of those, everybody else, yes, okay, Ascot's a little over the top, but then this was oh, look at his polished suit. Okay. And, Alfred's always wearing a suit, but now you're like, ooh, look at our fancy wear. And Edward always looks fancy, so, you know. The Five Houses Conference resumed at the Bernstein Mansion several days after the Queen's ball. You know what I mean? Look at how fancy this little prince is. I mean, Jesus. The development of Eddy Park, which will host the exhibition, has been going well so far. The revitalization of the local economy is expected to move in a favorable direction based on the number of people we need to employ for preparations. Edward moved the meeting along efficiently, documents held in one hand. Edward's clearly trying to make up for the delay in the delay the last meeting caused. I kept an ear out for any valuable information being shared as I remained standing by the wall, as any servant would. Have the invitations for Fremdelin been arranged, Lord Edward? See, and like normal suit, lots of ribbons and bows. Again, best in show, and then like it's not formal attire, it's just fancy everyday dress. But Edward's got a fucking tuxedo coat with tails on. It's so overly fancy. We've started preparing the invitations, those for important diplomats in particular. We want to make sure they're invited early. You can rely on House Word for security on the day of the event. Good idea. However, we may need to cover all of Rowan, not just the venue. There might be areas where we lack manpower. In that case, we can make up for the shortage by supplementing with personnel from House Bernstein and House Cresswell. Agreed. Let me go over our overall arrangements and I'll get back to you. Looks like we've covered everything. Nothing else needs finalizing, so I'll be leaving now. Lucas tried to rise from his chair the moment the discussion ended without any deviation. No information related to the Queen came up this time, huh? That said, meeting the Queen out of the blue like last time had been unexpected. I stepped forward to see Lucas off, determined not to let myself feel disheartened, but then... Oh my! Leaving so soon, Lulu. The meeting wrapped up early. Why don't you stay for a while, enjoy some tea, and chat with us? Lucas's face visibly darkened at Ascot's offer. I'll pass. I've had my fill of wasting time on nonsense after that pointless meeting last time. Things did indeed go off track last time. I apologize for that. Even so, you leaving now will be troublesome. Exactly. We have something important to discuss aside from the exhibition. Something important? Is it related to the Queen? I quietly warmed tea on the trolley, waiting for Ascot to speak. Much to my disappointment, however, what he said had nothing to do with the Queen. It's about the 4 incidents that are currently causing countrywide stirs. Lucas came to a halt. The 4 incidents? They must be the things Goneril mentioned. To no one's surprise, the 5 houses were aware of all the incidents. Everyone's expressions tensed slightly, not just Lucas's. A smiling Ascot spoke, ignoring the tense atmosphere. Well, what can we... Well, like, you got the Blue Robin, but we know what that is, and that's not really. We know the Twilight Ravens. Okay, we know that. And the Wing Hunting... What was the other one? The country's been in uproar lately over the Wing Hunters, Changelings, the Twilight Ravens, and the Blue Robin. Okay, the Changelings. That's probably going to be the big thing. Because we already know about everything else. You know? And it seems that the disappearance of changeling cases have been rising. Okay, there you go. Apparently, it's especially common for children with a pure-faced spirit to vanish. Changelings. This is where we're going to find out that what's-her-face is a changeling? Lily, right? Yeah, one of you guys left that suggestion a while ago. Like, it could be because I forgot about the changelings. Because they've been, like, not bringing that up. It's like, oh my god, the Wing Hunters, the Twilight Ravens are always kind of in the background, always like a big deal. And that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? The Blue Robin was really only brought up in Lucas's, again, makes sense why, because it's him. But they just kind of mention it in passing. But we've already dealt with the Wing Hunters. So, like, you know, sorta. Kinda. I mean, I guess they could kind of bring that back. But now if he's mentioning changelings, I'm assuming that's going to be the big thing here, so. They were beings created when a human child's spirit and a phase spirit switched places. I heard incidents of them going missing had occurred, but I didn't expect the number of cases to be growing. It'd just be really interesting. Okay, but see... How could Lily be one? Because, like, I'm still, like, you're not... I mean, she... Is that why she's, like, so tied to the Queen? You know what I mean? And a little, like, devious and, like, really... I don't really believe she's got any kind of feeling. You know what I mean? She pretends well, but I don't necessarily believe that. But I guess if Fae are very much like that, like, oh, whatever, then, hmm, curious. Anyway, lost in thought, I felt Alfred's gaze turn in my direction. Space, you can leave. I don't mind if she stays. It's not like we're deliberately hiding anything. This case just isn't well known. Agreed. Besides, we've run out of tea. Let's get some refills. Alfred's like, hey. Don't act like you don't trust me. You put up a wall that killed all the people in my village. I should not trust you. But I still love you to death. Understood. I shall pour some more. I bowed my head and immediately got to work. Of course, I didn't forget to listen in on their conversation as well. We also have to think about the exhibition's safety. More importantly, considering Her Majesty's worries. We must do our best to ensure these incidents are resolved quickly. I'm already looking into the wing hunting incidents. Lord Alfred and Lord Linus have started investigating the Twilight Ravens. Unlike the other three, no criminal activity is involved with Blue Robin, so we've decided to monitor the situation for now. I like how they're like, Alfred, you should go investigate the Twilight Ravens. And he's like, I can handle that. He's like, sweet. It's easy to investigate yourself. Edward pointed at the documents he held and confirmed the assignment distribution. Ascot opened his mouth as if to cut him off. In that case, shall we have Lulu investigate the changelings? He seems free. What are you doing? I decline. The task's to be assigned to someone who's free, then it should be you. Huh? Ascot looked flustered now that everyone's attention was on him. Indeed, Lord Lucas still has some tasks relating to the exhibition that need to be handled. And since how's Lindell scheduled to handle matters concerning Her Majesty later, it's only right that Lord Ascot takes on this task now. Besides, you brought it up. You just want to ruffle Linus's hair. Look at you! Help and instigate. This is a problem. I'm not exactly free myself, you know. You don't do anything. Ascot twirled the end of his hair, his expression clearly showing how bothered he was by having to do shit and not just be able to exist being pretty. Yeah, seems like it might suck. I wish I could just exist by being pretty. Alfred gave him a cold stare. You have more than enough time if you stopped fooling around with women. Lord Alfred's right. Try using your time more wisely. It's not like I'm only spending time with women, you know. Oh, really? Oh, really? I know that's not what you meant, Ascot, but Her Majesty calls for me quite often. Yeah, sure. But, well, did Ascot just mumble something? His voice was too low, though. I couldn't make out what he said. I'm assuming they act like he's a playboy, but he's probably really not. You know, oh yeah, I'm sure he flirts and everything like that, but he's not like, oh, I don't have time, I'm too bit. Like, I feel like that's a ruse. Like, that's just a front, that's a mask, you know? Does he enjoy being a flirty whore? Probably, but then everyone's like, then nobody takes him seriously. So, I don't know, I could see you working that to your advantage. I thought he might repeat himself, but Ascot flashed his usual smile, the one that captivated noble women. Fine, I'll do it. Seeing all these future beauties disappearing is hard, after all. Such a begrudging response. He always brings up women, but aren't boys also being targeted? His earlier comment bothers me, but it doesn't seem like anyone else heard it. I don't think it'll be brought up. Yeah, no, when he said beauties, he doesn't mean just women. He also means men. He just doesn't want to admit it. I carefully poured tea and handed out refills, pretending to be uninterested in the conversation. However, when I was about to place Ascot's tea in front of him, "All right, Space. If I get tied up with the investigation, I suppose I won't be able to see you as often, eh?" He flashed a smile at me, and it seemed as if he expected something, so... Pardon my rudeness, but I believe I haven't had many chances to meet with you to begin with. I laid out the facts without hesitation. You're like, don't you dare act like, you know, we have a thing going or some shit. I saw Lucas cover his mouth to stifle a laugh from the corner of my eyes. You see Lucas cackling in the corner. The other's shoulders also shook in laughter, aside from Ascot, of course. I suppose that's true. Your maid is quite formidable, Ed. She's a serious lady, after all. Ascot shrugged in resignation, disappointment on his face. Pardon me. I quickly finished my task, ignoring the exchange. Now that I think about it, I remember her being nervous when she met Her Majesty at the debutante ball, and yet she didn't mess up. Hey, hey, hey! Don't bring that up! Don't out me! My point being, she isn't the kind of maid who's swayed by your superficial smile. Okay, thank you, Alfred. Jesus. You're all being a bit harsh, but it's a valid point. All right. Speaking of Her Majesty, I had the chance to ask about her health after the ball. When I heard the name of the person I had sworn revenge on, I froze. I wasn't the only one who was surprised. Linus and the others stared at Ascot. Huh? We haven't heard anything. It was merely a casual chat, but I figured it'd be good to share with you all. You should have brought up such an important matter sooner. I nearly left without hearing anything. I feel like I'm surprised that Lucas cares. I wanted to stay and learn my enemy's current condition, but... Thank you, Space. Would you mind stepping out for a moment? Of course. Please let me know if you need anything. Unable to go against my employer's orders, I had no choice but to leave the room. She's like, son of a bitch. I want to insist on staying, but drawing any suspicion is risky. I wonder what exactly they're discussing about the Queen's health. Maybe I can subtly gather information later. I was about to head downstairs to start my next task as I pondered this when... Oh, Space! Are you returning from looking after Ed and the others by any chance? My lady... I swiftly bowed my head to Lily, who had walked over from the opposite direction. If Lily shows up a lot in Ascot's route, then we know. I mean, her showing up, like, now and, like, a T thing, okay, once or twice, but, like, we gotta keep an eye on this. Write down how many times she shows the fuck up. Calling it looking after would be an exaggeration, though I'm honored to have been entrusted with such a prestigious task. Regardless of our social status, it's undeniable that he and the others can be a handful, isn't it? Honestly, why is it that things get so heated and the conversation goes off track every time there's a meeting? She has a point. Lily let out a sigh as if she had actually been in the meeting. Oh, Space, if you don't have any urgent matters to attend to, could you bring some tea to my room? Of course. It'll take a moment if that's all right. I don't mind. I'll wait in my room, okay? Lily smiled as she spoke, then walked away elegantly. I lifted my head once Lily disappeared around the corner and headed for the kitchen to prepare the tea. I'd be like, how to deal with Lily. My lady, I've brought tea and sweets. Come in. Terry Bird. After having gotten Lily's permission, I entered the room with the tea trolley. Come to think of it, this is the first time I've been in Lily's room. It looks exactly like Edward's room, except for I'm pretty sure the little things over his bed weren't black. But I glanced around without drawing attention to myself. Everything was coordinated in gentle, feminine tones. I really don't think so. Everything is motherfucking red. And then there's like the black drapes over the bed. That one in the back looks purple, and then there's a green rug. Ain't nothing matching in this motherfucker. It's a room befitting a noble lady of high status. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. I pushed the tea trolley to the center of the room, toward the couch where Lily sat. It smells lovely. Did you bring freshly baked sweets? Yes, Charlotte just finished baking these. I brewed Lily's tea, savoring the sweet aroma of Charlotte's baked goods. After making sure the fragrance was perfect, I served it along with the treats, then... You're truly thoughtful, Space. I'm glad I introduced you to Lady Tia. Hearing that name so suddenly made my blood pressure go up, just like it had during the meeting earlier. I heard the news, by the way. You danced with Lord Ascot during the ball, didn't you? I did. It was an honor far beyond what I deserve. Lily's comment made me recall that night. Flashback to Ascot. Oh, look at him. I wasn't fond of being indebted to someone, but Ascot had helped me avoid drawing unwanted attention that day. Although his piercing eyes felt as though they could see through everything. I believe I taught you to maintain eye contact. Enjoying a little conversation as you dance is all right. There's something special about communicating with your eyes, too. Love, hatred, fear, sadness. Those emotions are all reflected in one's eyes. I see dark, burning fire in your eyes. Could you enlighten me as to what emotion that is? Or this is, sorry. What exactly were his intentions behind those words? Ascot had undoubtedly sensed something about me. I couldn't afford to trust him, not even for a moment. Fair. So how was your dance with Lord Ascot? Lily asked, greatly interested. However, I had no difficulty in coming up with an answer. He made sure to adjust everything from the way he held my hand to how he moved his feet in order to make dancing easier for me. I could tell that he was very accustomed to it. Well, you have a point. He's danced with countless women, and he's captivated his partner each time. I must admit I can picture it. Lily sipped her tea, then looked up and gave me some advice. As long as you serve this household, you'll most likely encounter him. Listen carefully. Don't let him take a liking to you and eat you up. He really has no boundaries at all. I'm worried. You're so cute, Space. Don't hesitate to come to me for advice if you ever find yourself in trouble. Eat me up? I'm not some piece of food or anything, but I'll be careful. I wondered if that was some kind of metaphor. I thought about asking someone later, but Lily gave me a puzzled look when I replied. You really are adorable. Lily giggled again as I tilted my head in confusion. I mean, like, you gotta take that, like, oh, that's nice of her, like, you know, trying to warn us off of him, but at the same time, you're like, still don't trust her. And to be fair, right now we're in that we, as a character, don't trust Ascot, and we, as the players, can we trust him? I don't, yeah, we're gonna fall in love with him, but we don't really know if it's gonna start out kind of like bad and then kind of like, you know, steer into the actually it's okay now. You know what I mean? Because like look at Linus, like, oh, we're going, like, this is great. And then he was like, I love you and you were my first love, but I'll kill you to protect the queen. And he had to battle himself while battling us. You know what I mean? Not really the best outcome. Well, I mean, yes, it ended well, but you know what I mean? It's not really like the best path for your boyfriend to be like, I'd fucking take you down before I'd let you take the queen down. Again, his blood, so it's fine. So you don't really know where Ascot stands. Like, are we going to have a similar arc like that? Or is it going to be totally different? Because, again, he's the one who gave us the dagger in Linus's route. So it makes you go, huh, okay. You are sus, but in different ways than we expect. But really, and then you disappeared in Edward's route? What really happened? You know? So, yes, in this moment, Lily warning us off Ascot and being like, oh, you should watch out for him. Yeah, we totally should. You know, and I don't trust you girls, so I'd rather trust Ascot. You know? You know? So I feel like it's sus that she's trying to warn us off him. But it comes across as like, oh, that's sweet of her. Is it, though? Is it really? So. Eat you up? That's basically a sexual reference. Evelyn's blunt comment nearly made me drop the dish I was washing, but I caught it just in time. Wait, you really didn't get it? You're just as innocent as you look. No, scratch that. You're even more innocent than you look. Embarrassment washed over me for some reason. Thinking about it now, I barely learned about this kind of thing. John didn't know much about romance either, and Riley basically kept me away from that kind of thing. Right, because doesn't want anyone to touch you but himself. I'm just saying, he'd be siscon all the way, you know it. I was lost in thought after hearing Evelyn's explanation. Charlotte seemed to mistake this as me feeling down and tried to console me. It's no wonder. Space is a very serious person after all. No, there's got to be a limit to that. Basically, her ladyship warned you to be careful not to let Lord Ascot eat you up in a romantic sense. Countless women out there probably wouldn't mind being toyed with by Lord Ascot, though. Raising my hand over here. as high as I fucking. I mean, oh, right over here. I volunteer as tribute. Yeah, I've even heard of people trying to get closer to Lord Ascot by joining House Lindell as maids. I see. That was quite enlightening. It was indeed a little embarrassing. I still had trouble wrapping my head around relationships between men and women. Riley and John warned me. I have to be on guard. A thought suddenly crossed my mind. Maybe I can use Ascot's fondness of women to get closer to the Queen. The plan came to me after I heard the phrase explained and finally understood everything. I've been here a while now, but there's been no progress since the debutante ball. I can't afford to be selective in my approach and waste my time. I don't intend to be eaten, but weaponizing the fact that I'm a woman might be a viable strategy. You know, I'm here for this. All right, well. Why are we flashing back to this? Oh, I thought we were transitioning scenes, but we might be. Anyway.
Space, the book his lordship wanted has arrived in the bookstore. Please go pick it up. Feel free to have lunch while you're out, but make sure you don't return too late.
Understood. I shall be heading out. Was it a... Okay. It was just weird instead of like that. That's like us flashing back to why we're out now. So it was a scene transition, but it's like when you do the flashbacks like that, they're usually in the middle of a scene. You know what I mean? Like we saw that with Lily. We're talking about like, oh, let me flash back to the dance, and then we come back. So it's like there when we're like, I'm going to use this, and then there's a flashback, and then it's like, that was actually just the scene transitions. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Technically, it was its own scene. So we transitioned out of the kitchen into a flashback and then into the new scenes. Whatever. We're going to wrap it up here, though. So anyway, we'll continue Ascot's route next time. So I'll see you next time. Remember to give the video somebody's awake. Can you hear it? I know you can. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.